When you open the Animation Inspector in Artlantis Studio, you'll find an extra palette at the bottom of the screen called Timeline. Here, the lengths of sequences are saved, and you'll also find additional functions linked to animation. In the current situation, we have one single sequence lasting 10 seconds. We can start viewing it by turning on the play button below. The preview window displays the motion in full radiosity by refreshing a certain number of frames per second. This number can be controlled graphically using this slider, or you can also enter values for it. By turning on the OpenGL option in the timeline, you can deactivate the lighting in the preview and reduce the scene to a pencil drawing style. This is a good option to easily review paths or specific actions. On the timeline, the key moments of animations are recorded through keyframes. In this case, they signify the beginning and the end of the camera movement. By default, Artlantis smooths the motion by slowing down at the ends, but with this checkbox you can ask for a constant speed as well. In the drawer, the sequences are shown with similar thumbnails we already know from previous presentation modes. They can be duplicated, and with each duplication, a new length of time will be created for them on the timeline. To avoid overlapping on the timeline, you'll need to be accurate and always duplicate the last sequence from the drawer. The duration of a sequence can be changed by dragging one of the border lines. Below, marked with green, we can see the total number of frames to be calculated for the sequence and the current position of the playhead in time and frame. With this list icon at the lower right-hand side, the timeline can be opened in a larger dialog called Hierarchical Timeline. You can switch between sequences with this roll-down list, or you can select an animated item from below. Selecting one, Artlantis will automatically jump to the appropriate dialog and inspector. Roll your mouse wheel to enlarge the sequence. Both timelines have a recording button to record actions, like sun studies, for example. Select a key moment by dragging the playhead over it. Change a parameter, and in that moment, a new item appears in the list together with the appropriate keyframes showing the recording. The hierarchical timeline helps you to easily switch between items. A right-click over the playhead opens a contextual menu where you can add new keyframes while the recording mode is on, or guides. Guides help you to easily retrieve a certain moment in a sequence or to synchronize key points of actions. If two keyframes are on the same guide, they can be moved together, and they can be linked and moved together. The hierarchical timeline helps you control and fine-tune different composing elements of a sequence.